Okay, we're now recording. I'm Jane Mizrahi. I'm a student of Trauma Cooperative Yoga, and this is my 30-hour yoga class. So I'd like to start out by saying it is so wonderful that you showed up for yourself today to this class, and I know that in some ways you may have done it for me, but I truly believe that you did it for yourself. Like you are here for yourself too, and that is really lovely. I'd like to share a little bit about some of the concepts of trauma cooperative yoga before we get started. We'll then go into a couple of minutes of a meditation and then move into the body. So one of the things that trauma cooperative is about is welcoming people to the mat for them to find ease, or in Sanskrit, it's called sukha, ease in their body, mind, and spirit during this class, so that you may develop a relationship to your body to bring it out to the world. So this trauma cooperative yoga is about finding ease on the mat. To remind yourself that you're safe in this moment, so that you may have more agency over your nervous system. We will learn through this class and practice through this class ways of using focus, like focus on the breath, focus on the eyes, toward helping navigate to build agency in the nervous system. As well, in trauma cooperative yoga, it's about choice. So much in life, and especially around trauma, is lack of choice. So the language in trauma cooperative yoga is very invitational. It may be different than what you're used to. The invitation is trusting that in any given moment you can get your own answers. So the invitation to find out how you can express yourself in, for instance, resting pose. And I'll demonstrate different ways. And I trust that you will find your way, because this is about you and finding ease in your body, or sukha. Teachings will come up throughout the practice, but the other thing is about boundaries. So the mat is a metaphor for boundaries. So as you're practicing trauma cooperative yoga, you're going to be noticing this mat as a metaphor for boundaries and finding what is your truth in any given moment. And that is where we develop boundaries from. So I'd like to ask if you have any questions about that little presentation. So any questions about that presentation? No questions, Lee?
Nope.
Ellen? Don't be shy.
Of course I have a question.
Please.
So are we talking about, well, the trauma that I'm going through. So is it also takes you off of the mat to help with trauma?
So the way yoga works is as you build familiarity with yourself in the moment.
Right.
So as even in this very moment, but as we get out of our heads and out of the language and we find ourselves in our body, in the mat, we develop a more attuned relationship to our experience, Ellen, so that the traumas that are happening in your life now, you get to relate to with more ease, sukha, ease. So as you find ease in this moment, you get to know how do I invite that ease? Can I tap into that ease? So you go from practicing yoga to becoming a yogi by tapping into ease that you create on the mat. Was that helpful?
Yeah. No, that's what I thought. That's what I need. That's what I wanted.
Did that trigger anything for you, Lee, or that's good?
Well, I know from doing yoga that your experience on the mat, you're supposed to take it off the mat.
Right. And isn't that the most difficult thing? Like one time I cut a circle of my mat and kept it in my pocket as a metaphor, as a way to remind me. It wasn't so fantastic because I forgot it was there, but it was a good try. It was a good attempt at bridging what we are creating on the mat into the world. It's practice that makes it real. You just keep on showing up and bringing your attention back to the moment, back to the sensation in the body, back to the breath, back to the posture, back to the grounded feeling of your body on the chair right now.
because I mean, I've done yoga a lot, but you know what? I never took it off the mat.
Lovely. So Trauma Cooperative Yoga, welcome.
So there you go.
So I'd like to ask each of you an open-ended question and invite you to either answer it to the recording or not, or to me, but it's for you to consider. And the question is, what is your focus today? So if you had to identify what a focus would be for this session, what comes up for you? And I love the way, Ellen, you're closing your eyes, and Lee, you look contemplative. When you're ready and with no urgency, if you want to share, just go like this, and I'll just call your name and you'll share. Ellen?
How do I deal with my mother?
So your question is, how can I use this yoga practice to
Deal with my mother's illness.
better
and-
deal with my mother, your mother's illness? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to take the question the next level and ask you, can you identify either an emotion or several emotions that are connected to the language or the thought, how do I deal with my mother? So what emotions come up for you?
Sad, crying, pain in my stomach, get her out of suffering. Why is God doing this? I don't understand.
So what I hear you saying is, when you think about your mother, you feel sad, tears come up, you have some belly discomfort, and then you start to think, how can this end? And you become religious, like spiritual, like how does the universe? So
Why?
the invitation for you, Ellen, on this practice, and it's invitational, so that's Trauma Cooperative Yoga, is to experience the sadness that may come up on your mat with a unique relationship to that sadness. If this stuff comes up in your belly around your mom on the mat, the practice is an invitation to relate to it uniquely and differently, and with increasing agency. So clearly, we're never here to change what's happening, because we're not that powerful. None of us is that powerful. Yoga is an invitation to relate to it with new ease. And let's see if we can just add that as an intention for you. So the intention is that this yoga class provides that for you.
Okay.
So I'm going to check in with Lee and see, do you have a focus that you would like to either share with the group or not?
I don't, but right now I'm just pulling a tick off my dog, so I apologize.
Okay,
Thanks.
ticks need to go.
Yes.
And do you want us to pause as you pull the tick?
No, it's gone.
Okay. Do you have a sense of, so it's interesting because anything in life that comes along can sort of throw us. And so my invitation to you, Lee, is, what would it be like to bring yourself back to yoga?
Yes.
And then just sort of take a breath, really take a breath to ground yourself in this moment. And then consider the question, what is your focus for today?
Can I just say I don't really have a focus. I'm just here to be
Supportive.
I mean, to be supportive, and I do yoga anyway. I love doing it with you. And I come from trauma, so, you know.
So might the idea that you come from trauma, and I'll put that in quotations as I reflect back what I hear you say, be that you, similarly to what I shared with Ellen, find ease in your body today through this practice.
Yes.
Around your story of trauma. Wonderful. So I invite you to breathe in through the nose. Hold your breath at the top if you're okay to do that. And then exhale through the mouth or the nose. And we'll do that again and see what it might be like to do a count of 4 in, hold 2, 6 out. So that breathing inspires what we call the parasympathetic, or calm, rest, connect, and digest. Part of our nervous system that says it's okay, you're safe. The breath is the intermediary between body and mind, and it is here to serve us when we remember to use it. So I'm going to invite the group to sit for 1 minute by focusing on breath, just 1 minute. If there's something about that feels uncomfortable, you can bring your hands together in prayer and bring the thumbs into the sternum and focus on the connection of your hands. So bring your attention rather than to breath, to your body. Either way, it's okay. And we breathe. Might you notice any sounds? Might you notice the beating of the heart? Might you notice judgments and move them along like clouds in a sky and come back to breath? Right here, right now, breathing. Right here, right now, grace and ease, sukha. Right here, right now, ease. And flutter your eyes open when you're ready. And let's start here on the mat rather than going into standing, and see what it's like to bring your hands across your chest and bring them down and up to the sky and stretch them up. And what would it be like here to meet your fingers, intertwine them and extend the index finger, and stay here, drop the shoulders, extend the heart, a gentle bend in the elbows. Find your unique expression of this posture. What's it like to breathe here? And any stuff that comes up for you, come back to this extension of the arms up to the universe. Bring the arms up a little higher, and on an exhale, lean over to the right side. Adjust the head as necessary and experience the side stretch on the left side in any lovely way that you're experiencing that extension on the left side. What would it be like now as you're extending on the left side to focus on your buttocks on the ground? Let the roots underneath your buttocks extend into the earth, grounding you here. So there's a combination of things happening. Stretch and extend and grounding into the earth, feeling right here, right now, I have the capacity to tolerate what's happening in my life. If that feels difficult, and I'm inspired to do this, you can follow me or stay here. Release the hands and bring one of your hands to your heart if it feels too open here. Bring the fingertips together and extend. This using your hand with compassion and support. And breathe here and notice just with one little change how you honor yourself. So I'm honoring myself and inviting you to honor yourself. Take the left hand and sweep it down onto the left leg, and bring the right hand up, extend up and over, and extend with a long stretch on the right side. Really feel that sense, the sensations in your right side. Can you move your attention here? Like, what's it like to move your attention to the stretch? Nothing else. No thoughts, just stretch. And you're welcome to close your eyes here. And as you do that, the invitation is to roll the eyes up toward the third eye, that space between the eyes, and notice any sensation in your forehead as you focus on that third eye location. When we do this, thoughts drop away and it's just sensation, inviting ease into the body in this moment. You might want to release this posture now, or you might want to say, wow, I can do this for 3 more breaths, building resilience, or let go as you would like. Sweep that arm all the way down. Bring both hands to the legs. Face the arms, the hands up on the legs, and join the thumb with the index finger. This is a mudra. There are nerve endings in the fingertips. Let's honor those nerve endings. Put them together as if you can't take a piece of paper out. So don't squeeze too hard, but with enough pressure. And just sit here and notice the body now that you've stretched both left and right. Moving attention to the body in this moment. Breathing through the nose. I'd like to invite you to find yourself on the mat in what we call table. So I'm going to move my let's see. So this is table. So can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. So we want to be in table. So if your knees, honor yourself. So one of the things I meant to say is I am not in your body. So if you have pain in your body, I can't feel it. But I trust that you will adjust yourself as necessary. And also when we do yoga, we stir up sensations. Our job in yoga, in Trauma Cooperative Yoga, is to find the sweet spot at the edge of sensation before pain. And it's interesting because when we bring this out to the world, that is kind of what we're doing. I can tolerate all that's happening and pull back from overwhelm. So we're pulling back from pain and tolerating sensation. So here in table, you want your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. And first of all, the dance that Ellen is doing is her micro movements to find her equanimity or balance on the mat at this moment. That is Trauma Cooperative Yoga. Find your equanimity, your balance in this moment. So cat-cow looks like this. And your invitation here is to move your body with a large indentation on the back. Look up, breathe in through the nose. Exhale, concave the back. And find your own rhythm. You might be tempted to look and see my rhythm, and I'm inviting you to know that my rhythm is my relationship to dance at this moment, if you will. The energy that I want to stir up, the energy I want to release. Find your dance with breath in cat-cow. Rinsing the spinal cord of all the tension from the day as you engage in cat-cow. If you've had some lower back struggles due to carrying things or moving things, you might want smaller movements. If you're feeling wild and you want to really get into it, don't go crazy, but don't be lazy, is one of our yogic sayings. From here, I invite you to look right and left and find that sensation again as you look back, feeling even a stretch in your thigh muscle, your psoas. Feel your body engage as you extend the side body, looking back, even engaging the psoas. And from here, let's pause in a table, getting our shoulders back over our wrists, our hips over our knees, and breathe here, pausing. The magic of pausing on the mat we bring to the world, breathing through the nose. I invite you to extend the left knee in between your hands and extend the right leg out. Bringing your fingertips to the ground, raise your heart center, and find your expression of pigeon. It doesn't really matter what these things are called, but what we're building here is agency in the body. Agency in the body at the present moment. You might want to put your toes up and lift your knee and find out what that variation is like for you. I'm inspired to drop it and lift it because I've got a little extra energy in my body. So that feels really right. You might want to just drop it, stay here. And to extend this further, you might come to your elbows and make fists with your hands, put them on top of one another, and rest your forehead on your fists here. Notice the sensations in the body here. Can you find them in your body and breathe any color that feels right to you as ease into those sensations? Not that they're not ease, but just let's add a little touch of ease. I'm inspired to find some release in my left thigh. So I'm dropping my right hand down and I'm taking my left fist and I'm tapping with my fist on my left thigh. This relationship to body is at any given moment, I can find stress in the body or, wow, I'm getting into my low back. There's a whole lot of room here to invite my hands to get in there. My own self-massage, really a way of self-loving. Soften the face right now as you combine ease with soothing. And when you're ready, put your hand back, maybe gaze down at the hands and find how the fingers want to go. Do they want to go wide with a strong base or a little more narrow? Whatever comfortable for you. And as in yoga, we do both sides. So bring your right toes to the ground and lift up and bring the left leg back into a plank before we go to the other side. A position of strength. Find your breath here through the nose. What micro movements do you need? Gaze downward. As we gaze downward, we soften the nervous system. You might want to look up and notice what's different here. Looking up, gazing down. Could make a world of difference. Now drop the knees, and now we're going to extend the opposite leg through the hands. And I'm going to need help here. Which leg did we do before?
Left.
So we're going to do the right. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. So the right knee is now in between the hands. Let's find your own unique expression of this posture. Heart center out, shoulders dropped. What's it like here to bring the belly into the spine? Belly into spine as we go inward. See if you could bring that breath into the belly. A variation here might be to lift the right arm and open up to the side. What's that like? Do you have the, yeah. What's it like to breathe here and notice what's happening in the body as you move attention to nothing but this, open heart, power in the arm. What's it like to raise it up to the sky? Breathing, really invigorating, if you will. Lovely finding out what is your unique expression of this, bringing the hand back down to the floor. And now what I'm going to invite you to do is bring both knees back, and we're going to find ourselves in resting pose. So variations of resting pose are arms forward, arms back, hands on top of one another, head to one side, hands in fist, forehead down. I can repeat that if you'd like. Do you need me to repeat it, or can you find your own expression? I think everyone's finding their own expression of resting pose. As thoughts come up in resting pose, just use the mind to tell the brain and spinal cord, it's okay. I can rest now. I'm safe, I'm sound. I'm honoring my body in this moment in a wakeful restfulness. Finding breath, just becoming the observer of those thoughts. I see you thoughts coming back to the body, rolling the eyes up to the third eye, creating sensation and releasing thoughts. Right here, right now, ease. When you're ready, we're going to push up to seated. And so here, some people struggle with this position because there's some pressure on the knees. So I'm comfortable here, but one variation is to put a pillow here and make it a little bit more gentle. And what we're going to do here is take the left hand by the right thigh and the right hand behind us and twist over the right shoulder in a gentle spinal twist. And just visualize all the stress from your body releasing. The spinal cord is saying, wow, thank you. Thank you for showing up for me today. Thank you for releasing the tension in my spine. I'm here for it. Try and grab that breath through the nose all the way into the belly despite the twist. Might you find your left hand into a mudra of thumb and index finger? Right down by the thigh, making another bodily connection. What micro movements do you need to do with the neck to say, ah, thank you. We're holding up all day, thank you. And when you're ready, we're going to twist to the other side. So now we have right hand in mudra on the left thigh, left hand behind us, twisting over the left shoulder. Any micro movements here? Any massaging? Full breath. And twisting back to center. Making fists with your hands and just tapping the body, saying you're here, thank you, I love you. In this moment, reminding your body, this one beautiful body. And where in your body, when you tap, are you finding the need to put a little more emphasis? For me, it's these thighs, the psoas, which isn't unusual. I'm inspired to do, ah, it may be embarrassing for you, but it is true that when we go, ah, that we release from the nervous system. we're going to do a couple of more asanas before we close, or postures. So from here, I invite you to come into standing. It's not as good, is it? But that's okay, it's Zoom. So knees gently bent. Why? Because hyperconstricted knees stop the energy from going into the floor. Arms up to the ceiling, Tadasana the mountain. What is your unique expression of Tadasana the mountain? Bring the belly back to the spine. Tuck the buttocks. Heart shining. And bring your breath to the belly. Bring your gaze or your drishti to something on the floor in front of you. Notice as you ground your eyes, it's something we don't hear a lot about, but as you ground your eyes, you soften the nervous system. Eyes gently looking down, power in Tadasana the mountain. What's it like here for a variation to open to a V? Receiving all the energy you need to tolerate all that you are going through in this life. Dear universe, I'm here to receive it. And now bring your hands to your heart and belly, bringing that energy in. Thank you, universe, for providing what I need. Straightening the knees just a little bit, dropping the hands down. Bring the right heel up, open the knee. Do a gentle bend on the left leg. Find a gaze, bring your hands to your hips. Find a gaze on the floor and bring your right leg to either the ankle, the knee, or the thigh. Open the knee and find your balance here. Any in and out of balance is life. No judgments here. We learn on the mat to find grace in mistakes, because mistakes are an absolute part of life. What's it like now to raise the arms up to the sky in balanced pose? Open the heart, gentle back bend. Find your strength here in balance. I don't know if you can hear the dog barking, but I want to say thank you to the dog. Hands to heart and belly. Drop the foot, shake it out.
I'm not saying thank you.
Shaking it out is a way of telling the nervous system, I'm meeting your needs. So this is a Janie dance, but it's also like what I need right now. I invite you to find your dance. Beautiful, really lovely. So let's settle ourselves down, making the feet like an 11, parallel to one another. This time, pick up the toes. Drop the pinky toes down, and one toe at a time, drop till you get the big toe. So yes, the dogs are annoying, but this is our teacher. We are literally being invited to practice tolerance for what is happening in the present moment. I didn't plan this, I can't avoid it, and if I had locked them up, I mean, I'm the one that's locked up, it wouldn't have given us an opportunity, or me an opportunity, to teach to the idea that thank you, life, for showing up while I'm on my mat to teach me tolerance. Hands on hips, left foot out, and bring the foot to either the ankle, the knee, or the thigh. As you raise your arms up to the sky, find a drishti or a gaze on the floor, and find your balance here. I'm coming out of balance not because I want to, but because my body did. So I'm finding grace in that coming out, and I'm returning, always returning to what our values are, how we want to show up for ourselves. So I'm obviously pretty heady because I'm coming out again, and I'm a Taurus, so I'm going to bring myself back to find grace. And when you're ready, bring the hands together to your heart, drop the foot down and dance it out. So we're going to do this for about 10 seconds. And then we're going to find ourselves in Shavasana, the final resting pose. Using your breath, asking your body what it needs, reminding yourself as you gaze around this beautiful mat, this is my space to reinforce these messages of safety in the present moment, boundaries on this mat through breath and grounding. So find your way to the floor on your back. And what we're going to do here, so it'll look like, so you're not going to be able to see me, so I don't need to see you. I'm inviting you to lie down on your mat. And before we go into full resting pose, bring your left knee into your belly, holding underneath the knee. So it might look like this. There you go. And just rotate that in circles against the abdomen, doing an organ massage. So it looks like this.
Oh, wait. Oh, it's this. Okay.
And you can do counterclockwise as well. And when you're ready, bring that leg forward and bring the other leg under the knee into the abdomen. And the left one gets so much more of an organ massage because I think the organs are heavier on the left side. I think.
Oh.
Clockwise and counterclockwise. And now bring both knees in and have some fun here with circles. Really open up the full expression, however this is showing up for you today. When you're ready, drop the feet down and lift the core up into a gentle bridge. Find your breath here. Open the neck and the back so that your eyes are gazing. Close your eyes and gaze back, and make sure the neck is nice and open here. What micro movements do you need to do? Shake out the low back, whatever you are called to do. And then gently drop one vertebrae at a time, the back down, and extend the legs out. Let the feet fall to the sides. The arms are to your side with the palms up. And if you have, so it's a little late in the game as I say this, but if you have a pillow and you want to pop it onto your belly as a little bit of a sensory weighted blanket experience, close your eyes if you're feeling comfortable with that. Raise the eyes up to the third eye. And the whole invitation here is to experience a deep rest and awakeness at the same time. If you fall asleep, it's okay. It's an invitation to feel your body on the mat, feeling restful because it's here and now. Maybe introducing an expression of gratitude to this moment, to serving your body in all self-love and I am enough in this moment. I can rest. I can relax enough. Let my body's energy drift into the earth. And now move the attention from the third eye to the feet, and we'll do a brief body scan as you just notice your capacity to focus when you're invited to attend to an area. So focusing on both feet, the bottoms of the feet, the tops of the feet. Focusing on the calves and the energy in the knee joints, both sides. Ease in the knee joints. Moving up to the psoas, the thighs. Ease in this muscle that holds so much. Ease in the pelvic region as the sits bone connects to the earth. Visualizing energy moving up the spine, feeling the back of the scapula onto the earth, the shoulders on the earth, both upper arms, both lower arms, and the hands connecting to the earth. Bringing your attention to the throat center. Bringing your attention to the face and finding deep ease in the face. Letting go. Maybe letting the jaw part a little bit. Maybe bringing the tongue to the top of the mouth, connecting. The head, the top of the head. And now your whole body covered in a light that feels soothing and comforting, a light that serves you, your needs. Any doubts, breathe in and say just doubt and come back to the body on the ground in this moment, ease, sukha. Just a moment of silence as you honor this inward experience. And when you're ready, just begin to wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers, moving from deep rest to the beginning of more wakefulness. Bringing your knees into your belly and swinging over to the right side, honoring the heart side. And when you're ready, push yourself up into easy pose, seated pose. With just a moment of quiet as you honor yourself in easy seated pose after this beautiful expression of yourself in this moment. I'm inspired to bring my hands with palms up and meeting my thumbs and forefingers, and I'm going to chant Om 3 times as a way of soothing my nervous system and reinforcing the closing of a practice. The universal sound connecting me with all sentient beings. Actually, I'm making an intention that we connect with all sentient beings. Om Namo Gurudev Namo, all sentient beings that walk the path of wellness. Om Namo Gurudev Namo, all sentient beings that walk the path of wellness. May we connect with those beings and wish healing to all those who suffer. Deep breath in through the nose. Om. Your hands together up the third eye. May we learn the capacity to manage thinking brain. Bring the hands down to the heart. Bring the hands to the mouth. May we learn the capacity to speak words of kindness, clarity, and honesty. Bring the hands to the heart center. May we connect with our heart and our truth, and may we learn to live that truth. Deep breath in through the nose. Long exhalation out. Together we say namaste, the light in me honors the light in you. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.
Thank you, Jane. Namaste.
Thank you, Jane. Namaste.
My invitation to you is after this class that you hydrate, drink water, because practices can be, moves energy. And when we move energy, we burn energy. So hydrate. And if you're inspired to journal what came up for you, if anything, or just may the practice take you into your, from the mat to your life. And if you have any questions, please reach out individually. I am here to answer them about Trauma Cooperative Yoga, about anything I did in practice today. I'm going to turn off the recording. Thanks, Joe.